people with the backwards attitude, pointing fingers, and that's a bad excuse for sitting on your ass when you complain. Stupid things that you don't want to change. You ain't got no time for me, and I ain't got no sympathy for you.
Greetings, guys. Some of you may know the situation that has occurred between Laci Green and roaming Millennial. Now, if you don't, basically the very small story is, or very skinny version of it, is that roaming Millennial has made a video regarding cultural appreciation. Now, in that video, she has, obviously she's talked about cultural appreciation. She did lose Laci Green's image in the video. And she also did use her image in the thumbnail, but that was obviously in reference to the video. Now, since then, obviously Laci Green has gone through and lodged a copyright strike against the smaller YouTuber. Just to give you an idea of the size of difference between these two YouTube channels, Laci Green's channel has 1.5 million subscribers and roaming Millennial has around 33,000 subscribers. So there is a vast difference in size. Now, the reason why size comes into matter is because of the fact that obviously if you have 1.5 million people who watch your channel, you have then a lot more psychological effect on a smaller YouTuber who only has 33,000. Obviously, the smaller YouTuber is going to be more afraid of taking you on because you have a larger voice. Not only that, but obviously YouTube, theoretically, would be more inclined to side with the larger YouTuber because obviously they have more views, more subs, more whatever. And not only that, but obviously if Laci Green was to turn around and say to her fans, hey, look at this girl, look what she's done, then there would obviously be a possible 1.5 million fans who would then go and flood roaming Millennial's channel, giving her hate comments, disliking or disbombing her videos, etc, etc, etc. Now, since that all happened, Defranco has come out and made a video regarding this, just obviously reporting the fact and saying, you know, hey, he doesn't believe it's fair use. And then since then, obviously, Laci Green has come out and made a video regarding in response to A, the original claims, and B, also regarding Defranco. That's what we're going to be watching today, is that video regarding the response from Laci Green. And we're going to be analysing it in typical media breakdown fashion. So guys, enjoy.
Good morning, YouTube land. Clearly wasn't planning to make a video. I don't think I've ever filmed one in my car before. But I'm on my way to Philadelphia, and I have been having, admittedly, like, not the best week. The main thing is that I've been having some pretty serious family problems. But also Rita Skeeter decided to write a New York Times article about me, and now people are blowing up this story about me, submitting an inquiry about copyright violation to YouTube. So I kind of want to talk about what happened and also connect it to a broader phenomenon that I've noticed and my relationship with Defranco.
Okay, so apparently everybody's blown this out of control. The first literally like half a minute of this is just a dead end. It's all a victim card. I'm thinking about making one and sending it in the mail. To be honest, it's all look at me, look at me, look at me. You know, I'm having problems. Boo hoo hoo. I'm sorry, but it's irrelevant.
You know, I don't usually engage with this shit because I don't think that the YouTube drama black hole vortex is a positive thing. You know, I don't think attacking people and relying on misplaced outrage is a good way to build the community. I don't think that it's a positive force. I think it's really toxic.
Did she just say that she doesn't engage in drama, YouTube drama, and that she doesn't attack other YouTubers? Okay, I'm sorry. I must be mistaken, because I thought Laci Green not only made one video about the Sam Pepper incident. Now, just before anybody goes, Sam Pepper was bad, I'm not saying Sam Pepper didn't deserve it. I'm just saying that if you go on record saying that you do not attack other YouTubers, and then you in the past have gone out and not only made one video regarding an incident, but actually encourage people to attack or message his network, go through and harass him. You've not only done it once, but you actually made several videos regarding Sam Pepper. In fact, the Sam Pepper, actually you made 2 videos, and both collectively have over 6.5 million views. So I'm sorry, but you say you do not go through and attack other YouTubers. I'm sorry, but you are mistaken. You have actually done that, and there is actually proof of you actually going through and attacking them in the past. Now, that said, like I said, I'm not saying Sam Pepper didn't deserve it. I am just saying that if you're going to state that you have not attacked YouTubers in the past, or you do not encourage that, or didn't do that, then maybe you might want to check your previous history on videos that you have uploaded, because I have clearly shown where you actually have. And if anybody doesn't believe me, there is actually a photo on the screen where you can actually see those videos, including the links in the description below.
And I also think it's just really cheap content. You know, it's lowest common denominator stuff, and it doesn't really require you to engage with issues or to be creative or to invent something that's really cool. It's just kind of easy.
Like, for example, when you make a video, or sorry, 2 videos on Sam Pepper, and then you also make another video on Phil Defranco. Yeah, you're right, you don't go through and attack other YouTubers, and you don't engage in this sort of behavior, right? I'm glad you don't make these sort of sheep videos, like when you're sitting in your car complaining about Phil Defranco, right?
This YouTube drama stuff is a big reason why I don't really watch YouTube anymore. And it's kind of sad because YouTube used to be my favorite. I mean, there are a few good YouTubers out there that I still watch, but for the most part, I don't even really go online anymore because it just seems like such a toxic, negative place.
My other 2 YouTube channels deal with gaming. If you like, Laci, I can send you the link to those, and you can go through and make a video or watch those videos. That we don't do or don't talk about toxic stuff on that generally. We talk about game glitches and whatnot. So if you want to check those out, go for it. You know, I'll send you the link if you like. I'll put a link in the description below. You can go check those out. But in all seriousness, guys, yes, there is drama on YouTube. Wow, boo-hoo. But I'm sorry, but you can generally tell from a title if something is going to be drama related. If you don't want to watch that sort of stuff, you don't click on it. And if you do click on it and then realize it is regarding that, you can always back out of it and close the video. That's your right as a YouTube person. You have that right to sit there and click that little X up the top and make the video go away and not come up on your video unless you click on it again.
So let me talk about the context of what happened. I had received a bunch of emails from people who told me about a channel where the user was sort of making their icons to look like it was me, and all these people were emailing me saying, I thought it was you, they're deliberately misleading people, they're using your images, they're using copyrighted stuff, is there something you can do about it?
First thing was, I thought it was actually a tweet, not an email, but you still might have got emails. Okay, that's fine. Secondly, as far as I'm aware, it was only the one person that tweeted at you regarding this, unless there are other emails that you haven't made public. That is my understanding. But please, feel free to tweet at me, let me know. Also, if you want to provide like evidence of these emails, you know, that might be good too, because yeah, as far as everybody else knows, it was only one person, not multiple, and it was a tweet, not an email. And they weren't actually... I know it can get a little confusing having a thumbnail, but you know, generally when the video says by Roaming Millennial, it's pretty obvious it's not by you. It's pretty obvious that that is in fact actually from Roaming Millennial and not from you. I know the names are very similar, you know, Roaming Millennial and Laci Green. I know they're very similar if you like say them fast enough, maybe.
So I submitted an inquiry to YouTube, to my YouTube manager. They're there to answer your questions, and she sent me the form to submit an inquiry. And basically that form will look over the issue, and they will decide whether or not it's fair use, whether or not it's a policy violation. So I submitted this inquiry.
Okay, so just to get this straight in my head, someone with 1.5 million subscribers was unsure whether this girl's thumbnail was fair use, so she then went through and talked to YouTube, who then sent her a link to which she can then go through and find out if something's fair use and blah blah blah. How long have you been doing YouTube for and you don't know? Regardless, just say that I believe what you are saying, which I don't. I'm sorry, but I do not believe that. But just saying I do believe that. You did not realize that the video or the link that she was sending you was a copyright strike? How long have you been doing YouTube for? Please. Even if that is all plausible and whatnot, you yourself have actually used images from other people in your thumbnails yourself. And I presume in doing that, you consulted someone regarding fair use and whether or not you were legally able to do that. In fact, I have a picture on the screen above. So the fact is that you, of all people, would have known that this comes under fair use due to the fact that you have actually dealt with this exact same issue over a year ago on your other channel. So I'm sorry, I do not believe that.
I haven't really followed up. I don't really know what happened with it. I don't usually submit inquiries. Usually my videos are flagged automatically if someone just re-uploads the entire thing.
Okay, can we please stop using the word inquiry? Okay, you weren't inquiring whether she was using your video with fair use. You lodged a copyright strike. It's not an inquiry, it's a copyright takedown. It's a copyright strike. I have been doing YouTube for about 6 to 12 months, and I know what that is. Okay, I find it very hard that someone with 1.5 million subscribers has no idea what is fair use, and that the form that she was, or the inquiry, quotes, that she was lodging did not come under fair use, and or that it was a copyright strike. I'm sorry, but I'm just not that thick.
Back on YouTube, there's an automated process that will flag that, and then it'll let me know, and I can choose if I want to monetize that video, if I want to take that video down because it's mine. But for people who make their own videos and then incorporate my content, that is fair use, and I fully respect an engaged dialogue about the issues that I talk about, and I think people have a right to criticize. So I generally just don't touch this stuff in general, but...
Cool. So we have a right to criticize, and according to what she just said, she will not flag this video for copyright strike, right? That's what everybody just got from that last part, that she has admitted that everybody has a right to criticize, and that is your right, and that it comes under fair use. So there is no way that she will go through and lodge a copyright strike or a takedown notice on this video, because that's exactly what I'm doing. Cool. Good to know.
I do take issue with these channels that are trying to fool people into thinking that it's me, that are deliberately misleading and using my image basically to make money on monetized videos, where the videos aren't even about me, they have nothing to do with me.
Now, obviously, this is something that she has added at a later date, basically saying, Phil, I did not act because her channel is much smaller than mine. Her video gets about the same amount of views. What I want to touch on this is the fact that she is admitting that her channel with 1.5 million subscribers actually gets around the same amount of views as someone with 33,000 video subscribers. So that must mean that there is a lot in inactivity, or a lot of inactive users on her channel that don't view her videos. I don't know, something like that. Maybe, I'm not quite sure. It's her channel, not my problem. But that in itself is, yeah. And I don't get how someone being a social justice warrior means that they would not attack somebody who is criticizing her. I don't know how that comes into play, but maybe someone can explain that in the comments below.
I think that's absolutely within my right to submit that inquiry. It's pretty standard procedure on YouTube.
I'm sorry, but it's not standard procedure to go around and attack another channel by lodging a false copyright strike because A, you're not sure if it's fair use, and B, I'm sorry, it's not common practice. It's not. Okay, I don't know anybody else that would do that. Personally, common practice would be to talk about it on Twitter with the other person, or email them, or something along those lines. That is normally what happens, and that is why we get people exposing other people and posting Twitter feeds and Twitter conversations, because that's generally what will actually happen, is people will go through and actually talk on Twitter, and yeah, that's generally what happens regarding that, not just copyright strike. But you know, hey, I've only been doing YouTube for 6-12 months. Maybe I don't know anything. Maybe someone can let me know in the comment section below on that too. Let me know, do you think it's common practice that other people will go through and attack another YouTube channel and lodge a false copyright strike because they're not sure if the content is fair use?
Philip knows this. He's a YouTuber. He knows that we have a right to enforce our copyright when it's appropriate. And so I submitted an inquiry about this to YouTube.
You're persistent in calling it an inquiry, aren't you? It's not an inquiry, it was a copyright strike. That, okay? And yes, it is your right to go through and lodge a copyright strike when it is appropriate. But judging from what you've just submitted, you weren't even sure if it was whether it was justified or not. You simply decided to lodge an inquiry. Now, you with 1.5 million subscribers, I'm sorry, I have a very hard time believing that someone with that amount of subscribers has no idea about copyright. And I find it very hard to believe that you have not heard of video game attorney or Ryan Morrison, for example, considering he has been in the news lately regarding this exact same subject. Especially considering you have a lot more subscribers than, well, Millennial or me. And I imagine Millennial's heard of him, so why haven't you?
Like I said on Twitter, I respect whatever verdict that YouTube delivers, because I respect this system and I respect that YouTube as a company, I think that they do know what they're doing despite all of the fear-mongering online.
Now, it's funny that you actually say this, because I just mentioned Ryan Morrison, and I'm presuming that is actually in regards to H3 Productions, etc, 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 where his name was mentioned several times. So that kind of proves my point that you actually should have heard the name by now, and he is someone that you can actually contact on Twitter to ask questions, instead of lodging a false copyright strike on the proviso that, oh, I'm not sure if this is in breach of copyright or not. Let's try and shut someone's channel down to find out.
A lot of people just don't understand YouTube's policies. I don't think that this issue is really about, you know, copyright and fair use.
Oh my god, what's the bet she's going to blame something like someone being sexist, or the fact that someone is trying to silence her because she's a feminist, or something along those lines. It's... If she does, I'm walking out. I'm leaving. I'm done. I'm done with the internet.
I think that Philip Defranco and the other people who made videos about me, attacking me on this the past few days, are really seeing this as an opportunity to go in on the narrative that feminists are out to censor people.
I knew it. That does it. I'm fucking done. See you. I'm out. I'm done. Bye.
It's a part of, broader negative stereotypes about feminists that we're hysterical and sensitive. So, I don't really see this as being about me specifically. I see it as people having a bone to pick, and whether or not that's a legitimate bone to pick is, a whole other question.
I'm sorry, but this has nothing to do with you being a feminist. In fact, before this video aired, and before I even watched this video, I had no idea who you were. I had no idea you were a feminist. I had no idea that you were left wing, right wing, center. You could be any. I don't give a shit. I don't know anything about you. I'm sorry, you're not that important. The only reason I know about you now is because of this YouTube drama which you initiated. I'm sorry, but you started this. You were the one that lodged a false copyright strike against a smaller YouTube channel instead of just tweeting at them. If you had tweeted at Millennial and said, "Hey, you're using my image in the thumbnail, not particularly a big fan of it. Do you think you possibly might be able to change it?" Chances are she would have probably turned around and said, "Yeah, no problems. Change the thumbnail," and the whole thing would have gone on, and no one would have even been none the wiser. But hey, I'm starting to wonder if you want this drama so that you can get views, because now everybody's talking about you. Hey, it's a theory.
Phil's video in particular also has another context, and that is my relationship with Phil. Some of you know, you've seen, videos that we've done together. Phil and I used to be friends, and I used to have a lot of respect for him. Phil has had a few very public sort of lashes out at me. And actually there is an irony to this, because the last time that Phil really lashed out at me publicly was when I was talking about Amtrak and public Wi-Fi networks that were censoring access to sex education information.
So as far as I can tell, this is actually a blatant lie. The only thing I can find where you and Phil Defranco have had an altercation, there is actually a Drama Alert story, link in the description below, where you actually questioned Amtrak as to why your video services were blocked on their trains. They actually then replied saying that it was due to the fact that they are obviously trying to save on bandwidth. They have limited bandwidth and they try and block more streamers. You then went through and claimed that is a lie due to the fact that you have been able to watch other YouTubers on their train services. And then Phil Defranco made a joke or a crack saying that they're out to get you in a sort of light-hearted gesture. Then you flew off at Phil Defranco, claiming that you do not like it when, quote, and I will use the, "I don't appreciate my concerns being minimized. I shouldn't be berated from working on the train because of some anti-sex keyword block at Philly D." Phil Defranco has then responded, "That's right, Laci, I'm dismissing you because I'm a man. You're a woman, right? No room for jokes on the internet." You had then responded by saying, at Philly D, "Literally nobody said that. You're the one freaking out about me daring to ask for a check on keyword blocks. Drama much?" To which then Philly D responded at Go Green 18, "The idea that it could be a mistake or a glitch on keyword seems like an afterthought to you," or for you, sorry. To which then you responded at Philly D, "It's okay for me to express my frustrations. I've seen you do the exact same thing. I've seen you do the same thing online as well. No need to make a bigger deal than it is." And this basically goes on for the next couple of minutes before Philly D blocks you. So I'm sorry, there was no mention of sex or sex education. It was solely about your videos being blocked on a train service, and Phil Defranco simply made a joke in regards to that. If there is any other incident, I would like to see that. If you have any copies of that, please, you can email me. Link in the description below as well.
lumping them in with porn. And I was tweeting about how, you know, these networks and public access and school computers should be making a distinction between porn and educational content. And
which I totally agree with. In fact, I would actually encourage. I think that, yes, that schools should go through, should go through and distinguish between porn and sex education. I think that people should be able to access as much sex education as they possibly need, because that way we can maybe stop or break the cycle of teen pregnancy, and people who are not yet ready to have children getting pregnant. I fully encourage that. However, as to your relationship with Phil Defranco, I don't know it. And I'm sorry, but I don't know you. I have had nothing to do with you in the past, so I'd like to see you try and justify that with me.
Phil just went off the rails. It was the weirdest thing ever. I was really hurt because, you know, this was before I really realized that Phil hates me, and I didn't really understand why he hates me and why he was going off on this, because, you know, we had talked about censorship before and we're both pretty anti-censorship. So, you know, I thought that was not a controversial issue, particularly not with him. But
I'm sorry, but any previous experience that you and Phil have, I'm sorry, but that does not mean or give you any right to attack another YouTuber. At the very least, the only thing that does is provide some sort of supporting evidence regarding you and Phil's interaction. That does not explain why you originally attacked this other YouTuber, and has very little to do with anything at all, to be honest. I'm sorry.
I think he lost a lot of respect for me when I started making feminist videos. He obviously has some disagreements with me, and that's fine. That's all that I can deduce, because that is the exact time that things just sort of went from hot to cold. So that's unfortunate, and I think that, you know, people should try to understand each other and understand where they're going. I think we really need to think twice about this culture of getting angry about stuff that really isn't that big of a deal. Because
I'm sorry, but you said before that you respect YouTube and that you have faith in YouTube, and now that you are saying lodging a copyright strike is not a big deal. You seem to be contradicting yourself here. A copyright strike is a big deal. You're not only attacking someone's livelihood and their ability to make money, you're attacking their channel. 3 copyright strikes and their channel gets closed. They can no longer have a YouTube channel ever again. This is a big deal. It's not something that is small and minor. And I cannot believe someone with 1.5 million subscribers does not think that lodging a copyright strike is a big deal. In fact, that in itself is very, very scary. I am very scared that you do not think a copyright strike is rather important.
Because, you know what, there are things to be angry about in the world right now. I just don't think that petty stuff on YouTube is in that category.
You're right. There are bigger issues in the world that we do need to deal with. Famine, hunger, world wars, you know, the global warming, natural resources. There are thousands of different things that we need to worry about. I'm sorry, but you started this. You started this by attacking another YouTuber for using your image in her video. That's what started the snowball effect. And I'm sorry now that the YouTubing community has stood up against you and said, hang on, that's not right. I am sorry now that you are being portrayed as the bad person, that you now want everybody to focus on other matters. I'm sorry, it does not work that way. You started this, regardless of who finishes it. This is something that you started. And as far as I'm aware, and please someone correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, as far as I'm aware, you can actually go through and resolve this by removing the copyright strike. My question to you is, at this time of this video being made, Have you done that? Is that video still being flagged as inappropriate? Also, have you apologized to the other YouTuber for going through and false claiming that she is infringing on your copyright? I presume that hasn't been done either. So my question is if you really want this drama over, then you know what to do.
Thanks for watching, you all. I am making a video about HPV. It's taken me forever and I've been traveling for a month, so I haven't had a chance to film it, but hopefully I will have that up for you guys shortly, and I have some really fun collaborations that are coming up too. I love y'all. Please take care of yourselves. Thank you for your ongoing support. We'll keep on keeping on. Mwah.
And in fact, I'd like to thank you, Laci, for this opportunity to use your video in accordance to fair use, which allows me to go through and to criticize or to raise issues. In fact, if Laci would like to talk to me, we can do a podcast or something and we can discuss this in real time. Apart from that, guys, obviously if this video has been helpful, please smack a like on it. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. This is only a new channel, which is why it only has so few subs. But guys, look, yeah, let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. And apart from that, enjoy yourselves, have a great day. I'll see you on the next video.